Today, we're going to talk about how to result an in-house lab. It could be a nurse visit or it could be done in conjunction with an office visit. Once the order is entered on the SP tab for the lab, the diagnosis has been populated. You can simply make sure that it has been saved because the note likely would not be completed. You wouldn't want it to be completed if you still have to document your lab results. But it's important to select the floppy disk at the top toolbar so that it will basically refresh the system so that your lab templates will be ready for you to document. It doesn't hurt to select it more than one time. It's just simply refreshing the screens. I'm going to go to my results tab and I'm going to go ahead and document my results. First, you're going to say you're documenting a new result. You're going to go to the magnifying glass and you're going to pull in whichever test you were performing. You can see that the ID field has IH, signifying it's an in-house lab. I'm going to select the urinalysis. Once I did that, it automatically pulled in the template at the bottom. It also auto-populates that it's an in-house lab and that it is a lab result attachment type. It also pulls in today's date as the order date. This section, Outstanding SPSO Mapping, is a super important section that you always want to complete. Otherwise, it's going to leave that order out there. Even if you result it, it's going to leave it out there as pending because you haven't linked the order to the result. You want to close that order loop. It's not going to be a required field. We can't make it a required field, but it is an important field to make sure that you don't end up with hundreds of orders that are not closed. I'm going to go ahead and search for today's exact date just to make it easy to pull up which orders are for this patient. I'm going to go to my date field and your quick key F4 brings in today's date and I'm going to search. Here's my urinalysis. You can see it says pending. It's today's date. I'm going to select urinalysis. It brings in my ordering provider. I'm going to go ahead and fill in my collected, received, performed, and resulted dates as today. I'm using my quick key F4 to populate all of those dates. As I did that, you can see it changed the order status. Now it says resulted. You can use these sections over here, results and result status, but it is not required to do so. I'm going to come down to my actual spreadsheet to document the results. So my leukocytes, I'm just going to simply type in negative. You can tab through these. I'm going to change the pH and make it abnormal so you can see once you put in an abnormal number, it highlights it red to draw attention to it. However, if it's a text field like blood and I put in positive rather than negative, it does not turn that red for you. It only does it for numeric values. Okay, so I've completed my documentation. You now have the option if you want to send the result to the patient. I apologize, not the patient, the provider. In their inbox, you can say create review result data. Once you select that box, it automatically is going to send it to the ordering provider with a routine urgency, and it's going to have a message that says they've got a urinalysis result to review. And then they can come in and select reviewed and approved. You don't have to use that though. I'm going to simply unclick it because we're not going to use it in this situation. I'm going to go ahead and say okay. And I'm going to document my next one. I'm going to select new result again, go to my magnifying glass, select my template for an in-house strep. It's not showing up here, so I'm going to search, but instead of searching the entire database, I'm simply going to put in IH for my in-house so that it will limit the number of things it brings back. And I'm going to pull in my strep. Documented automatically for me what lab and what attachment type. I'm going to go to my SPSO mapping tab. I'm going to pull it in for today's exact date using the quick key F4 to bring in today's date. Search. Here's my strep order. You can see that the urinalysis we just completed says resulted. I'm going to select strep. Auto-populates my ordering provider. I'm going to go to my other boxes and hit my F4 quick key all the way down to document today's date. You can see it automatically changed my order status to resulted. Here's my graph that I need to document on, and I'm going to say negative. You could create a review result data to send the result to the provider's inbox, but it is not required to do so. They can also just open the note to come in and look. It just depends on what your workflow is. Now you can see up here, I don't see those lab results. The system hasn't refreshed yet. So if you hit refresh results review, it's going to bring up those two labs right here. Strep, once I click the positive, it drops down and tells me here's today's strep that's resulted, and here's my result. Here's my urinalysis, all documented. I'm completed with my task, and so certainly I can say okay now, and then just leave the note incomplete for the provider to go in and review those results and finish the documentation.